Calling. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Wow, last day of September. It was like 4. Yeah, tomorrow's October 1st.
Yes.
Alright, chapter 2, section 7, solving proportions. Proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equal. An equation that states two ratios. What's a ratio? Quickly. Good. Yeah, when you hear ratio, you think fraction. Ratio is a fraction. So a proportion is an equation that states that two fractions are equal. Fair enough? So if you got 7 over 8 and it's equal to m over 12, you use the old crisscross applesauce method, right? Which means you multiply diagonally. You multiply 8 times m, and you get 8m. You bring down your equal sign, then you multiply 7 times 12. And I think that is 84. 84. And now you've got it in the form of an equation that you've practiced a lot. So you just divide each side by 8. And m is going to equal 10.5. Okay? So if you had x, let's see, x over 7 equals 4 over 5. X over 7 equals 4 over 5. Crisscross multiply. 5 times x is 5x. 7 times 4 is, good, divide by 5. And x equals 5.6. So a little extension of what you did the other day. How about a over b equals c over d? Let's solve for a. So if you crisscross multiply here, what do you get? AD, right? AD equals BC. Divide each side by D. Those cancel, and A is going to equal BC over D. Page 138. B minus 8 over 5 equals B plus 3 over 4. You still crisscross multiply, but now look what you got. Let's do the 5 first. 5 times B plus 3. You got 5 times B plus 3 equals 4 times B minus 8. And a number next to parentheses means to do what? Distributive property.
B minus 8. Oh.
So we're going to get 5b plus 15 equals 4b minus 32. And now you've got an equation with variables on both sides. Subtract 4b from each side. So b plus 15 equals negative 32. You would subtract 15. And b is going to equal negative 47. All right. Questions there? Try this. N over 5 equals 2n plus 4 over 6. So you're going to get 5 times 2n plus 4 equals n times 6, or 6 times n is 6n. Now you're going to do the distributive property. So 10n plus 20 equals 6n. Gotta be careful here. What would you do next here? I'm going to do it the other way. Okay. I want you to watch this. If you subtract 10n, you get 20 equals negative 4n. You divide by negative 4. And negative 5 equals n, right? Okay. What you got to be really careful of, this happens all the time. You get to this step, you get 10n plus 20 equals 6n. People do this all the time. They subtract 6n. And then they write 4n equals 20. They divide by 4. And they say that n equals 5. Now, is that the case? That's no. Look what happened here. If you were going to do that, 6n minus 6n, you would have to keep the equal sign where it's at, don't you? You see how I moved the equal sign? Alright, if you subtract 6n from each side, you would have gotten 4n plus 20 equals 0. And then you would have subtracted 20. So now 4n equals negative 20, and you divide by 4. Just be careful that you don't do that. Alright? Yes?
How do you know when to not do that when it comes to an equation?
What you just have to be careful is that you don't move your equal sign. You know? And that's why, I mean, this is a really bad example. I mean, if you put a line through my equal signs here, it looks like it's not good. And look at these equal signs. But if you just keep your equal sign where it's supposed to go, what was it? 10n plus 20 equals 6n. If you get in this habit and you subtract 6n from each side, if you tell you, I got to keep my equal sign here, well, 10n minus 6n is 4n. I bring down my plus 20. 6n minus 6n is 0. See how that won't happen? If you keep your equal sign in line, you won't make that mistake. And then you can subtract 20. And 4n would equal negative 20. And then divide by 4. And n would equal negative 5. Just don't let your equal sign start jumping all over the place, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Claire? All right, look at page 140. Let's look at number 5. It says a band went to a recruiting. A band went to a recording studio and recorded 4 songs in 3 hours. How many hours would it take the band to record 9 songs? Okay? So let's get rid of the S and the H though. Everybody see that?
How can you just put
You got songs over hours. Oof. Hours. 4 songs in 3 hours equals 9 songs in the variable hours. That's what you're solving for, right? Alright, so you can crisscross multiply and you get 4x equals 27 divided by 4. X equals 6.75. Alright. Bless you. Alright, so that's taking it from a word problem and turning it into a proportion and solving it. Clear? Any questions? Go ahead. Yeah. Could have found the unit rate and then multiplied, which is kind of what you did. You know, it just looks a little bit different. All right, page 140. (18 through 32). This cursor's acting up again.